Welcome back to another episode of Night Drivers, Joe and Dad, and today we'll be talking about something very cheerful.
Cheerful? I know. It's very cheerful. What is it?
A dead bird.
A dead bird, dead turkey. Finally we have a turkey story to tell.
Yep.
Thank goodness. You want to just get in and start with that?
Sure.
Well, I guess we'll start with this because, we talked about your baseball a lot last week. The games actually got pushed a week, so we have 0 baseball updates.
Mm-hmm.
First game is actually now Monday, apparently. What? The game's Monday, you know that.
I know, but didn't you just say it's not Monday?
No, it is Monday. Yeah, apparently the league decided to push games because the weather's been so bad. There's been so many practices canceled that they gave everybody an extra week. So we'll have more on that next week. And now it's time for the good stuff. Turkey time. Joe, you tell me a story, and then I'll correct it as I see fit. Take it away.
So, Dad's alarm didn't go off, so he didn't go in the morning on Wednesday, which is the only time the bird comes. And so we waited till about 11 o'clock, and we went to deer camp. Well, in this case, turkey camp. And then we walked down the mail road, which is where Dad's been hunting these turkeys. Well, this turkey. And so we sat down, we got set up, we had a thunder chicken set up, and Dad hit one aluminum set of calls. How would you pronounce that, like that?
Yeah, just keep going. I'll clear it all up for everybody when you're done.
So then we hear a gobble that was very close. Dad said it would probably was about 75 yards.
Yeah.
So we kind of sat there, and 15 minutes later, Dad's like, I got a turkey. And it's to our left, so I was set up to the right because Dad thought that the turkey would come from the right because all of his pictures from his trail camera have been from him crossing the other side. So he shot the bird and not me.
That's true, I did.
And I saw the bird the whole time. And after he shot it, he was like, do you think you could have shot it? And I was like, yeah, I was looking dead at it.
Yeah, well, it didn't work out that way. So is that the end of your story?
Pretty much.
All right, so let me fill in all the details for everybody. So last podcast dropped last Friday, and I actually did not hunt Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday.
Or Wednesday.
I did hunt Wednesday.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. We went and hunted Wednesday. I didn't hunt Wednesday morning.
I thought you said like the week before last week.
No, so from the time the last podcast dropped, I didn't hunt Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday for whatever reason.
Because he didn't have the spirit in him. He did not believe in the turkey was there.
That's not true, but it was nice to catch a little break. And yeah, so my alarm, I wanted to go Wednesday because if you followed along on the podcast at all, I have one trail camera out and it's getting no pictures. But last week it got a picture of a gobbler at 4:30 in the afternoon. And Wednesday before
last week,
it got a picture of a gobbler at like 11:50. And there's only 2 pictures I've had of a turkey since the season started. So it's not like we're getting a lot of these pictures. It's just randomly set up in a spot that I think turkeys like. And so I did not wake up. The alarm didn't go off. Don't ask me why. And I was like, Joe,
he's been working with this alarm for a few days now.
Yeah, I don't understand. But anyway, I wanted to go hunt. And I was like, Joe, let's go. And to be honest, Joe was he didn't want to go.
I was tired because I woke up early.
Yeah, he was tired. He didn't want to go. I'm like, no, we're going turkey hunting. It's Wednesday. And you've told me to go on Wednesday. And it was a gorgeous day. I mean, it wasn't a lot of wind, sunny, probably mid-60s. So.
There was barely any wind.
Yeah, it was one of the best days we've had all year, especially during turkey season. And we get there and we set up, and I put a thunder chicken. That's a decoy out. Really the only decoy I own.
It's a Jake.
Yeah, it's a Jake. It's real funky looking. They may even call it the funky chicken or the funky thunder chicken. But I've had a lot of turkeys look at that thing, and it's worked out pretty well. But so I set it up kind of where I thought the turkeys would be able to see it, or if a turkey came by, it would see it. I set Joe up behind his umbrella. He basically had everything to the right and the primary shoot lane where I thought the bird would come if it came.
And this whole time, I thought that the bird was just coming from the left side, not the right side.
Yeah, and I was, I was sitting there and I had my gun basically on my lap. So we set up about 11:05, about 11:10, 11:15, I make my first call. I literally just threw it in my vest that morning, or that right before we left. It's a very cheap old Preston Pittman slate call, but it's a two-way call. It's slate on the front and aluminum on the back. And I normally throw it in my vest my chest rig for like just a little bit of different sound, because the aluminum sounds completely different than the glass that I run or the slate. And so I turned it over on the aluminum side and hit a couple clucks, a few little purrs, and then I hit a soft yelp and one or two clucks after that. And he hammered pretty much right away. Yeah, that
But he only gobbled.
he only gobbled once, and it was one of those that really got my attention. I was like, Joe, that is close, and he's interested. So I took that call, I set it on the ground, and I never picked it up again. I was like, just wait, he knows we're here. And so we sat, and about 11:30, I was like, Joe, I got a turkey. And of course, he came from our back left, and I watched him, and I was like, it's on. I mean, it was a great bird. And when he walked behind a tree, I grabbed my gun off my lap and put it up, and he had his head up. He was looking. I don't know if he was still pretty far away from the decoy, but I'm not sure if it caught his eye or not. And he had his head straight up looking, and I took the shot. And after, and he rolled him. That red dot was real nice to shoot with.
Got me and Dad covered with mud.
Yeah, so we rolled him and jumped up and had to run through a little bit of swamp.
Well, technically with the turkey, wouldn't it be flopped him?
Yeah, we flopped him and dropped him. But yeah, so anyway, we went running after him, had to run through, swampy water and stuff, and he was in kind of a muddy area, and he was not flopping a lot, but he wasn't flopping, but when I went over there to pick him up, he flopped a little bit and kind of moved, and when his wings were throwing mud all over us, and I got mud all in my eye and my face.
I got mud in my eye, my face, my back, because when he splattered mud all over my face, I turned around and he covered my back in mud.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever seen a turkey flop, that's what he did.
A bit of flop, flop.
But as I was running over there to go grab him,
that has something to do with my joke at the end.
But as I was running over there, saw another bird. So there's a second bird with him. Neither one of us saw, and I kind of took off running and flew up into a tree. Have no idea if it was a hen, a jake, or a gobbler.
If it was a gobbler or a jake, you better watch out because I'm gonna go.
Yeah, but we had no idea what it was. And so I grabbed the bird, and I mean, he expired very quickly. I picked him up, and it was a great bird. I mean, it was 11.5-inch beard. He had a 1.25 inch spurs on each side. They were even. They normally are never even. He weighed right at or a little over 20 pounds.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, it was a very mature bird.
And we skinned him instead of plucked him.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that too. But so anyway, we do what?
I said fluffy.
Yeah. So we sat there and took some pictures and if you follow our Instagram, Joe gave a little walkthrough, had a quick video, kind of the setup and what it looked like, and we posted that. And we were on cloud nine. I mean, Joe told me to go hunt on Wednesdays, and I think the new theme is to hunt Wednesdays with Joe, right?
Yep. Hey, don't touch my card.
So anyway, that was a great experience. That's the second bird I've killed that Joe's been with me.
And second bird that I believe you've ever killed with the red dot.
It is, yeah. I just recently switched to red dot. I killed one 2 years ago with a red dot, and then this one, I've shot a bunch with it, and I have to say I like it a lot. I'm not going back. Everything else has been with the bead, but I'm not going back. And
never.
So we carry the bird out, and in good old fashion, he bled all over my shotgun and all over my seat.
And when I told him that, he didn't really think much of it, but once he took his shotgun off, he was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care, but my shotgun looks like it's been well used, which I'm a big fan of.
And the red dot is covered in mud.
Yeah, I cleaned it off, but I didn't clean the shotgun yet.
Good luck, shotgun.
So yeah, we did that, and then we brought it back to the house, and I normally pluck birds. It's normally been something I do. Me and Joe get out there and we hang it and we pluck it, and then from there we do the breakdown process, which Joe loves to pluck a turkey.
Yes,
but
that is gone.
It is gone. I think so. I think the way we did it this time is the way I'm going to do it.
We got more meat from it.
I don't know if we got more meat because we plucked the whole bird, but the way it normally works is that we pluck the bird and then I bring it in and I break it down because for wild turkeys, I mean, you have to cook the legs completely different than you cook the breast or tenderloin, the thighs, and then I like to take, the carcass and whatnot for bone stock. And so normally when I break it down, once we pluck it, I'd get two whole halves where I basically just debone the bird off of the carcass. And then I cut the legs off and I keep the legs together. I put the thighs together. I put the wings together. I do the breast individually.
And always use your turkey legs.
And the only difference between what we did this time and what we normally do is I did not keep the skin this time, which
No.
hindsight, looking back on it, I never do anything with the turkey skin.
You should, though, because it gets nice and crispy.
Yeah, but we've never cooked anything with the turkey skin on.
But you should.
But we haven't.
But you should.
And so I actually just watched a video where Jesse Griffith and maybe the Element Boys have kind of a breakdown how Jesse does a bird.
I thought it was Buck Truck.
No, they're called the Element.
Oh.
But I love Jesse Griffith. He has a book called The Turkey Book, which kind of encompasses turkey hunting and cooking and all the things you can do with turkey. So highly suggest that. And I mean, I just really respect him as a chef and a hunter. And watched that video and was like, this makes a lot of sense to me. So you actually go in and you skin the bird out and you pull the breast off whole with the tenderloin. You do that on both sides. You get your legs, you skin the legs out, and you take the legs off and you take the whole leg with the oyster and everything on it.
Oyster.
Yep. And so you do that. And then we actually got something we normally never get is got the turkey neck this time.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to go into some bone stock. It was pretty shot up, but I cleaned it up a little bit. But that's great. That was great bone stock. Flipped it over, got the lobes off the back of the turkey. So
Dad had a perfect shot because there was no like BBs in the.
Yeah, there was no pellets in the breast at all. Got the lobe meat off. Got the drumettes off the wings, and then was able to actually get the heart, the liver of the gizzard. And you bored yet? I'm gonna have to start throwing stuff at you when you do that. Then, so we got the heart, liver, gizzard. I was able to get the whole carcass. So for bone stock, I got the turkey neck, and it was. I'll post some pictures of it, but we got everything you can get that you can get from the bird. Of course, got the fan, got the feet, got that drying right now, and can't wait to do some cooking with it. I did try something for the first time that I've never done as far as the fan goes. There's a company called Fan Lock, because normally you just dry it out, put it on cardboard or a hanger or something like that. But this is a company called Fan Lock, and it's has some chemical you spray on it to actually set it.
Smells like a public bathroom.
It does actually smell really bad.
And we put it in Dad's room that we're doing the podcast in, and it still kind of smells.
Yeah. So you spray it down.
So leave it outside.
The point of using the Fan Lock is you don't have to get all the meat off like you normally would. You get a lot of it off, but if you have a little left, it dries all that out and it preserves it so bugs don't get it. So did that for the first time, and you can also use it on your legs to dry your legs. Yeah. So did all that. But like Joe said, I pinned it all up on some cardboard. I came in the room we're recording the podcast in and just set it down. And a few hours later, I walked in there and it was terrible. I had to pull it out and go put it somewhere else. And it's still
put it in the back of Dad's truck.
Yeah, still has some residual smell in here from 2 days ago.
Yeah, it does.
So, I mean, with that being said, I mean, it was a great day. It was also the quickest hunt I've ever had.
30-minute hunt.
30 minutes start to finish, which really feels good after you've put in days and days and days and hours.
Sure, because
and hours. What?
Because you feel like you've been wasting all that time, and when you came on the day that it comes, you just sat there for 30 minutes.
Nah, I don't. A day in the wood is never wasted.
Yeah.
I mean, because you always learn something, you always see something. So no, I didn't waste anything. I just had to put in time to find that bird. And so I went back the next morning and didn't hear anything. I was hoping, because early in the before the season, I actually have a picture of 3 gobblers, so I know there's more around. I just don't hear them. And normally, when you take the boss tom out, the dominant tom out, you'll hear some others. But maybe they need a day or two. And so I went yesterday, didn't hear anything, and I did not go today.
Nope.
May go in the morning. We'll see. And then I head out Tuesday. So I don't have a lot of days between now and Tuesday before I head to Florida. So overall, I mean, it was a good week. Finally have something to talk about that isn't me just getting my booty whooped by turkeys. because Lord knows that has happened.
Well, pretty much turkey.
Yeah, turkey. But I'll take one turkey versus no turkey.
Mm-hmm. And then now if you can get those other 2 gobblers, you're tagged out.
Yeah, that's true. We get 3. But I will say the equipment performed flawlessly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Apex, I'm running a 3-inch Apex. I shot the turkey with just the straight 9s, and it was done. I was
It
really
went from plop.
Yeah, I was real happy with the way everything performed, and it was good. And Joe was there, so that was fun. And I'm having a hard time looking at him because he's wearing a big furry hat right now.
I look like an Eskimo, don't I?
Yeah, you do. He's got this MKC fur hat on. It is.
Dad took a picture.
I
of
will.
me
I'll post
before.
a picture so everybody can see what you look like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You'll see our setup.
You have anything else you want to talk about as far as the turkey goes?
Not really.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is it was a great day.
Amazing hunt.
It was a good hunt, quick hunt. It was nice to get the proverbial monkey off my back. It's been a rough season, and before I start traveling trying to kill turkeys, it was nice to get one down in the home state. So, yeah.
And hopefully Dad can get a slam if he gets one in Florida and then Kansas.
Well, if I can get an Osceola in Florida, I might really have to get serious about trying to make the run, because that one's going to be tough. It's the end of the season. Yeah. I want to say it's actually the last weekend of their season.
Seriously?
So they've been hunted all year. They've been hunted hard. Yeah. It's the 17th through the 20th.
Well, hopefully they knows that the season's coming up, so they're getting out more.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of boot time trying to find out where they're going to be. Boot time, like walking around trying to find them. I've got on Onyx. I've got pins on things I like on the map. Some creek areas,
some red oaks,
where maybe there's some pine thickets going into some hardwoods. I got a lot of that marked. It's about 8,000 acres. It's WMA, so it's not a big WMA.
Wait,
but
what May?
WMA, Wildlife Management Area. So it's not massive, but 8,000 acres is a lot to get familiar with in 3 or 4 days. So should be a good time.
8,000 acres?
Acres, yeah.
Acorns?
Acorns. I could use some acorns and acres. Oh, one thing I was going to talk about is we looked in the crop of the turkey.
Oh, yeah.
And
there was one piece of corn.
Yeah, somebody's still feeding corn around. It's not us. We don't have anything out. But it had a whole piece of a whole kernel of corn in it, which might be the reason why we're not seeing a lot of turkeys. Somebody's got a lot of food out and keeping them around, which I'm not a fan of. But
Me neither, because they're illegal.
But really, there wasn't a lot in there. There
was one piece of corn and a little bit of grass.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot. There wasn't a lot of bugs. There wasn't.
But in the gizzard, there was more food.
Yeah, but it still looked like a lot of grass.
Yeah. Like, I've never really seen a turkey eat grass.
Yeah. So normally, there's grasshoppers and bugs and stuff. But there's just wasn't a lot of it.
Maybe he was trying to target a grasshopper and he just keep eating grass.
Yeah, I don't know. So that was interesting. So yeah, a little unhappy to find out somebody's feeding corn around us, but it is what it is. Not our property. Can't do anything about it. So, I guess that wraps up the turkey story. Excuse me. Why are you looking at me?
I don't know.
All right, well, here we go.
Joe's tip?
Joe's tip of the week. I can't wait to hear it because he doesn't have a clue what he's going to talk about.
I came up with this just a few minutes ago during the podcast. I learned this from Steve Nella. When you're turkey hunting, do not take your gun off of your knee, because then you'll get surprised by a turkey and you won't have a chance. You won't have a chance to pick up your gun.
All right, so your tip is to be ready.
Yes.
And have your shotgun. So when you set up, have your shotgun set up where
you can shoot,
where the shot's going to be, so you don't get pinned down. I have a great story about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do actually. Case in point is last year I was hunting a turkey, and last year was equally as brutal for me. I was on turkeys all the time. I won't bore you all with that, but I was doing an afternoon hunt, doing some calling, and had a big bird come in that I've been after, and he came in while my shotgun
was this the bird that I busted?
No. This bird actually came in. My shotgun was sitting on the ground next to me.
Huh?
I'd been there for like an hour or two, so I was like, this isn't gonna happen. And my shotgun was sitting on the ground next to my leg. And this turkey, he walked in to this open area and just eyes straight at me. And I watched him walk. He closed 40 yards, walking straight at me, looking dead at me, and I couldn't grab my gun. And he got to about 5 yards to the left of me. And at that time, he spooked. He looked, because I was kind of down in a dip in the ground, and he covered the entire clear area and I could almost touch him. And he saw me and turned around and started trotting away. And I threw my gun up and I tried to shoot him, and it did not hit him. It's hard to hit a running turkey and be effective at all. So yeah, that's if I would have had my gun up and ready on my knee, that would have been a dead bird.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we watched a fun YouTube video last night.
Which one?
Chester? No, not Chester. His Grand Slam.
Oh yeah, that was the Element Boys. That was Tyler from Element.
He had his gun facing one way, but then the Gobbler came in the other way, and he closed really close.
Yep.
And they hit a hen call to make him gobble so he can move his gun. And he gobbled and he moved his gun over, and he looked up looking. The turkey looked up looking for the hen, and then he shot him.
Yep. One thing turkeys will do is they will always come the way that you don't expect them to come.
Yep.
That's just, I've figured that out. If you want them to come dead in front of you, they're going to come to your left. If you want them to come from the left, they're going to come from the right. If you want them to come from in front of you, they might come from behind you. That's why they call it hunting.
Have you ever had a bird come from behind you, really?
Yeah.
You shoot it?
Probably spooked it more than anything. I get too antsy where I want to turn around and look. I'm like, oh, is that a bird? No, I had one a couple years ago come in from behind me. He was about 15 yards to my right, but he came straight from behind me, and he circled out in front of me, and I did kill that bird. So yeah, after that though, there's been no other gobbles
or wobbles.
Yeah, there's been no turkey sightings, so I don't really know what's going on, but I don't care at this point. Turkey down, feels good.
Turkey down, turkey down.
Don't have to shoot another turkey all year, and I'll be just happy. The goal now is to maybe get Joe on one.
Yeah.
Still waiting on that. So
yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about on that?
Stay ready.
Yeah. So anyway.
Sorry about that. That's our dog.
Yeah. He likes to bark. I think that's about it. We'll post some videos of, the turkey, once we break it down and the shotgun and some of that. But as far as that goes, hopefully we'll have next
another take down.
Yeah, next podcast we'll have some more fun stories. I'll be able to tell Joe all about Florida for sure. I think it's about a 10-hour drive down to south central Florida.
That's nothing compared to what we do.
No, it's not. But it's still a hike. I don't have you bugging me the whole way, so I'll probably
quiet.
I'll probably get bored. But yeah, I mean, it's been a good week. It's been really nice to be able to come back on here and say, hey, we got a turkey. Yay. It's all because of Joe made me go on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So he's now my hunting guide. So, all right, let's close it out. You got me a joke?
Yep. What did the flip-flop say to the other flip-flop?
What?
I'll catch you on the flip-flop.
Do you...
Like, catch you later?
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. If you have to explain it, it's not good. You've had better.
I know.
You've had way better. What did the flip-flop say to the flip-flop?
Yeah.
What was it?
Catch you on the flip-flop.
Yeah, that's terrible. I'm sorry. That just is not good. That's so bad, it's not even funny. All right. Well, that's it for us today. Hope y'all have a good weekend, and we'll be coming back soon. Check out the Instagram for some pictures and videos of our turkey experience. Yeah, when we'll update you with Joe's baseball. He's really excited about that. So
yeah.
What do they
need? Our jerseys the other day.
Yep. So what do they need to do?
Like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Ding, ding, ding.
Yep. And share it if you have somebody that you think you might like it. We'd appreciate it. We're having fun.
Leave a review.
We've still not got our first review yet. So that'll be a good day when we get our first review. So, all right. Y'all have a good one.
Catch you on the next one.